Ever wondered, is the world you are seeing really there or not? Do time and space truly exist, or is it all just a construct of our mind? The Critique of Pure Reason, that is, Critique of Pure Reason, is the most famous book by German philosopher Immanuel Kant. This book asks, how do we know things? Does knowledge come from experience or reason? Kant says that all the information we receive about the world comes from two sources, sensation and understanding. But even sensation has two pure forms, space, time. Do time and space exist in the external world, or inside the mind? Kant's claim, space and time are not in objects, but are constructions of our mind. That is, we see the world in space and time because our mind is built that way. First modern example, virtual reality, VR. When you wear a virtual headset, you enter a virtual world. That world also has space, time, distance, but all of it exists only in your experience, not in reality. This is what Kant means the framework of our experience is time and space. Kant's argument, a priori knowledge. Kant says knowledge of space and time exists in us before birth, not from experience. This is called a priori knowledge that comes before experience. Second example, mathematics, 224. You don't learn this by observing the world, it exists in your reasoning and intellectual structure beforehand. Similarly, lines, triangles, parallel lines all rely on the understanding of space. Does time really flow, or do we just think it does? According to Kant, time is an internal sense. We experience things in sequence first, then again these are forms of time. But is time actually a thing? Kant says no. Just like in a dream, time seems to flow. But when we wake up, it's only experience, not reality. What does this mean in today's world? Kant's principle says, whatever we experience comes through the filter of our mind. So is truth only what we see? Maybe not. Third example, social media and reality. In the world of Instagram, what we see is also a filter. Real life isn't exactly like that, but we feel it is because we are used to seeing that image. Similarly, Kant says the entire world is a filter, perceived through our mind. Kant's main message: we cannot see the world as it truly is. We see it as our perception allows through time and space. So next time you look at a clock or measure a distance, remember, maybe it's not reality, just a framework of experience. Kant taught us that to grasp truth, eyes are not enough, a philosophical perspective is needed. We have seen that we experience the world through time and space, but now the question arises, how do we understand those experiences? Is knowledge gained just by seeing, or must we also think and connect them with reason? Kant's answer, sensation gives experience, but understanding gives it meaning. Kant says two faculties operate behind our knowledge: sensibility, information received through the senses. Understanding connects things through thought and reasoning. Transcendental logic, reasoning that defines our capacity to think even before experience. In this chapter, Kant explains how understanding works and how we turn experience into knowledge. Kant's question, everyone experiences, but why is knowledge different? For example, two people see the same tree. One just calls it a tree, the other understands it as a source of oxygen, part of the life cycle, and its place in the ecosystem. The difference? One merely experiences, the other experiences and thinks. Kant says our mind has predetermined structures, categories, that convert any experience into thinkable knowledge. These are 12 categories, such as unity, cause and effect, quantity, possibility, substance, quality. Modern example, mobile notifications. When a notification arrives, our senses catch the sound and screen light, but understanding comes when we know which app, why, and the importance of that notification. Knowledge forms when our mind's categories classify it. Experience, understanding, knowledge, elemental function, senses, sensibility, provide raw data, color, shape, sound, understanding, categories, organizes that data into knowledge. Without sensory experience, understanding is empty. Without understanding, experience is chaotic. Kant's famous line, "Thoughts without content are empty. Intuitions without concepts are blind." And the depth. Why does Kant consider transcendental logic different from ordinary logic? Ordinary logic like math, science, logic gates is based on the rules of reality. But transcendental logic shows how we reason, the roots of reasoning, and how we are structured before we think. Example, how does a child learn cause and effect? If a child drops a toy and hears a sound, he thinks, "I dropped it, therefore the sound occurred." This is knowledge of cause and effect, a category of understanding according to Kant. Kant's main message: knowledge does not come only from experience. Categories of understanding true knowledge. We do not see the world as it is, but as our thinking system allows. Kant reminds us what we see and understand is not as simple as it seems. Our mind is itself a structure, a filter, a tool through which we perceive reality. Can we know the truth? If an event occurs like a tree falling, have you seen the truth? Or just interpreted sound, motion, and causes? Today, we enter the third part of Kant's critique of pure reason, transcendental analytic analysis of the structure of understanding. What is transcendental analytic? Kant says, knowledge arises when our understanding uses pre-existing categories to comprehend experiences. In this chapter, Kant explains how our thinking faculties, understanding, work according to universal rules. First part, analytic of concepts. Kant explains two main points. Understanding organizes our experience. This organization happens with certain categories. Kant's 12 categories, again, quantity, unity, plurality, totality, quality, reality, negation, limitation, relation, inherence, causality, reciprocity, modality, possibility, existence, necessity. These provide frameworks to understand any thought without experience. Modern example, ChatGPT and human brain. Like ChatGPT has a system that uses pre-built frameworks to connect words, the human mind uses these categories to convert experiences into thought. Second part, analytic of principles. Kant shows how these categories actually work. Key part, synthetic, a priori judgments. Statements that expand knowledge but are considered true before experience. Example, every event has a cause. We don't learn this from experience, we assume it beforehand. Example, child and a hot object. A child touches a hot steel glass for the first time, it burns. Next time, seeing steam, he thinks, this could be hot. This is not mere experience, it is the capacity to think. Kant says this is the work of understanding. Kant asks, if we have categories, like cause and experience, like burned by glass, how do they connect? The answer is schematism, an intermediate plan in the mind that bridges experience and reason. Example, smartphone app. Your camera, sensation, captures a photo. The processor, understanding, arranges it. The app's code, schema, connects both. Similarly, Kant says a schema exists within us. Kant in this chapter. We cannot understand experiences alone. Categories exist beforehand. Through a schema, experience and reason connect. Knowledge arises from experience mental categories. Kant's famous statement, the mind does not copy the world, the mind structures the world. What you think and know may not be the actual picture of the world, but a framework created by your understanding. According to Kant, we do not see the world, we see our way of thinking.